It's how you tap into other audiences using paid media or organic strategies. And that is what's going to 10x or 100x your reach.
I have this really cool product, really cool business, but I don't have there's no personality in my company. There's nobody
Mm-hmm.
that's like the rock star that can just be magnetic and they can get up on a camera and just be witty and funny and talk for however long and act and all this stuff. And we also don't have the equipment. We don't have a 4K camera. We don't have lighting and all this stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
what are you telling those people in terms of like, hey,
Yeah.
well, you don't need to have that. Where do you get started?
Sure. So, I mean, I tell them this, right? Content plus distribution equals virality. If you're looking for some sort of a formula, right? You have to have good content. It has to be packaged up a certain way where it's easily digestible and captures attention and gets people to stop. But content, in my opinion, and just based on everything we've seen, is only 30% of the battle, right? The other 70% is distribution. You can have the greatest video in the world if only your 5,000 or 3,000 followers are seeing it, you don't have a shot at going viral, right?
Yep.
And so if we just, I wasn't planning on doing this, Max, but after the
Yes.
intro,
I wasn't going to ask
we're
you,
going to do
but
a little
we're going to do
something.
it.
So I think what happens to a lot of people is they get capped, right? They have, their consistent 500 views, 800 views, things like that. They don't know how to break through. Well, I'm telling you right now, the way to break through and to really capture attention is distribution. It's how you tap into other audiences using paid media or organic strategies. And that is what's going to 10x or 100x your reach, right? That is what's going to allow you to make this viral asset without spending a lot of money and get it in front of so many other people. So most people don't have a content problem. You don't need to be a magician to do what I do. While it's cool, while it's exciting, we have dozens and dozens of clients that have hit 1 million views, and they're authors, they're speakers, they're coaches, they're random e-commerce entrepreneurs, right? And they just found out how to package up their content where it's good enough, where we have certain elements that we use to stop people's attention and keep it in the newsfeed. And then, because of the distribution side of things, using dozens of different strategies to reach the right person with the right video who's likely to share it, now you're creating earned media and you're capitalizing on a bunch of free views. And that's how you're able to go viral time and time again, right? So, that's really where I think the formula comes down to. So to the person who says, I don't have the equipment, I'm not a magician, I don't know what to do, I would tell them this. Number one, props. Props equals profits, right? If you're just sitting there against a boring background, you need to start to create an experience for that viewer. So the easiest way to kind of use a prop is to pick an interesting setting. And you see internet marketers starting to get better at this, right?
Yep.
They're standing in a beautiful beach, they're living the laptop entrepreneur lifestyle, and they're showcasing like this really cool environment. That's a great way to amp up your game, right? I live in LA. I shoot my videos in Malibu sometimes. When I travel to Florida or wherever for speaking engagements, I'm making content and filming ads and doing things like that to just show the result, right? Like, because I went viral, all this stuff became possible, and it ties in perfectly to the message. So any sort of prop, the setting is a great example of a prop that's just super easy. But for you, and for any entrepreneur watching, what is your product? With what you're doing, it's Facebook ads. So maybe you're like holding up a laptop and you do something crazy. You light the laptop on fire and you talk about, hey, if you don't figure out these strategies, your ad strategy, and you're just burning money. Your strategy is going to blow up, right? So here's how we do it. And then like now you set the hook and you go into the pitch. So there's so many different ways if you're creative to do this. And some of our clients recently, one of them is a motivational speaker. So we had him film this video in a basketball court, and he's talking about you have to live life like it's the fourth quarter, right? People hear all these things about, life's a marathon, not a sprint, and, all these things. Well, you should be living every day like it's your last. And if you do that, you're going to create this amazing life. So in the first 3 seconds of his video, he's not a magician or anything, but what's his hook? He's like, you never know when life is going to burn, and the buzzer in this basketball stadium goes off. You never know when your life's going to end. and then he goes into his pitch. So he's even using the sound of the scoreboard as like a prop, right? So props, instant, easy way to ramp up your game. Light something on fire, hold something, maybe it's a cell phone, and you're showing or demonstrating something. A lot of great ways to do it, but super easy way to get the content value up. But again, that's 30% of it. Now it's how do you get the distribution and get it in front of millions of people.